Venezuelan President Hugo Chávez. Love him or hate him, you gotta give him credit for having a way with words. We haven't been treated to this kind of good old-fashioned radical rhetoric since Daniel Ortega led the Sandinista revolution in 1980s Nicaragua. From who else but Chavez will you hear about American imperialism, colonialism, and hegemony? Popular resistance to corporate capitalism. Revolution against the oligarchy of elites. You might remember when Chavez spoke at the UN and called President Bush the devil. That was about all the coverage he got in the American media. This was a shame, because we weren't treated to him saying things like,
it was shown that the end of history was a totally false assumption, and the same was shown about Pax Americana and the establishment of the capitalist neoliberal world. It has been shown, this system, to generate mere poverty. Who believes in it now?
Chavez talks as tough to his own people as he does to us gringos. With oil profits serving as high-octane fuel for the Venezuelan economy, thanks to reforms Chavez enacted to keep more petrodollars in the country, Venezuelans are experiencing an explosion of consumerism and conspicuous consumption. Chavez isn't shy about chiding them either.
We've been cursed by the influence of capitalism, by the thirst for unbridled consumerism.
El consumismo.
I'm ashamed to say that Venezuela has one of the world's highest consumptions of whiskey. What kind of revolution is this? A Hummer revolution? A whiskey revolution? No, this is a real revolution.
Esto es una revolución de verdad, compadre.
His disdain for American-style consumerism also appears in sly pop culture references. Last year, Chavez suggested overzealous critics should take a Valium. And then there's this.
لقد استهلكت الولايات المتحدة في 50 عاما ما استهلكته الإنسانية في 150 عاما، وهم الآن يعملون للسيطرة على بترول الشعوب لكي يستهلكونه على طريقة دراكولا. إنهم الكوندي دراكولا يفتشون دوما عن النفط والدماء. لماذا؟ لأنهم يريدون الإبقاء على شيء زائل وهو طريقة الحياة الأمريكية الإمبريالية.
American foreign policy is a favorite Chavez topic. He calls the U.S. the master, and countries that align with it, its lackeys. His political opponents are plotting to reconvert Venezuela into an American colony.
We are facing an empire that wants to become the owner of the world, and they pretend to give orders to the world. Well, those governments that accept the illegitimate orders of the United States, that's their problem. We do not take those orders. That's their problem. If the U.S. empire thinks that by invading Venezuela they're going to stop the Bolivarian revolution, they are very much mistaken. They are very much wrong. Or by assassinating me they're going to stop the impetus of these people, millions of millions. He is very much mistaken, because the result will be the deepening of the revolution, and this will have an impact not only in Venezuela but in the rest of Latin America.
Chavez saves his best verbiage for those transnational corporations whose operations benefit from relationships with the U.S. and local Venezuelan elites.
This area was occupied by Exxon, the one that now is attacking Venezuela as the lead of American imperialism that pretends to own the whole world. Here, they failed. We will never give this, our wealth, our nation, to the United States empire, even if the Venezuelan oligarchs scream or if the United States and its multinational companies attacks us.
What's most refreshing about Chavez's socialist rhetoric, though, is its inherent humanism. He's always careful to distinguish between the people and the ruling elites. In his UN speech, he said,
if we walk in the streets of the Bronx, if we walk around New York, Washington, San Diego, in any city, San Antonio, San Francisco, and we ask individuals, the citizens of the United States, what does this country want? Does it want peace? They'll say yes, but the government doesn't want peace. The government of the United States doesn't want peace. It wants to exploit its system of exploitation, of pillage, of hegemony, through war.
بكل صراحة سأقول بأن الذين عليهم أن يضعوا خطة ما بعد الاستعمار هي الولايات المتحدة، لأن المجتمع الأمريكي لا يمكن ولا يجب أن ينتهي، ولكن استعمار النخبة الفاشية هي التي سوف تنتهي. علينا هزم الاستعمار في هذا القرن حتى لا تقضي هذه النخبة على العالم، وعلينا أن نختار إما أن ننجح بألف طريقة في إنهاء الاستعمار، أو أن الاستعمار سوف يقضي على العالم بألف طريقة.
Chávez's rhetoric gives voice to the beliefs of many Americans, even when our self-proclaimed leaders don't. Obama and McCain offer change, but they don't rail against the oligarchy of elites because they're members of that class. They don't oppose corporate capitalism because they profit from that economic system. Even when some talk about withdrawing from Iraq, they don't talk about reversing American colonialism or curtailing the reach of American hegemonic power because they support it. It's against this rhetorical backdrop that Chávez's message is most clear. Change is all well and good, but it's no substitute for revolution. I'm Brett M. Rhyne. Hey, how you doing, brother?
Sorry to interrupt.
No problem.
Hey, I was wondering if I could get a, if you wouldn't mind if I took a photo. I wanted to get a photograph of you, just